I'd like you to meet Randy, my neighbor and friend who can build literally anything. I'm a video producer and knew nothing about woodworking, always wanted to learn. So we agreed to an exchange. He'd teach me how to build a design of my own, and I'd show him how to make a video, the video that you're about to see. It's my hope that this allows Randy to continue teaching others, helping them grow outside of their comfort zones while bringing their unique ideas to life, just the way he did for me. I hope you enjoy.
Friday, 5:58 p.m.
Randy, what's up? It's Paul. I just got your message, man. I would love to build something with you. If you want, I could kind of film us building it as, make you a video in exchange for your help. I got this idea. I did some sketches. It's like a cabinet that'll hold all my vinyl records. So if you're free, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, this is the voiceover. Welcome to the voiceover.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, we're doing it right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
here's the wood shop.
All right, first we need to get some wood.
This was quite the experience. I didn't know there was such a variety.
Did you have an idea of what you wanted beforehand?
I really didn't. I was kind of just leaving myself open to seeing what I would see. And then I saw this red zebra wood, and it's just very beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It kind of looked like what I've seen on the back of an Eames chair. Spent about $400.
That's right, you wanted to match that Eames. I haven't worked with red zebra before.
And here we are, chopping up that Baltic birch, that first sheet.
We're gonna cut some wood down first. We have our sizes, right? Our sizes were 14 and a half by 14 and a half by, I believe it was 32.
That sounds right. We're just making those basic shapes.
Yeah, we get the angle. Well, I never routed out, so we're gonna have to run it. Well, I think a mistake is a gift. Most of the time, a mistake is a gift. And you shouldn't get frustrated. If you're worried about fucking up, you're gonna fuck up more. It's impossible to be perfect. We were talking about that Jordan documentary, right? Mm-hmm. And that's all that he cared about was being perfect. I don't know how you can be perfect. I think it's impossible.
Yeah, I was impressed how you kind of solved this problem and you had to alter the table in the moment. I didn't expect something like that to happen, and now you can make the cut.
So we needed 6 of these because we were doing 3 boxes. It's a lot easier to sand it when they're all together like that.
It was all nice and even.
Yeah, everything matches up pretty well at that point. It's not going to be perfect, but it's close.
What are we doing here? We're routing so that they all fit together. And these are all things that I learned that I didn't know about, routing the sides and all these steps. Never used a router like this before.
Yeah, it's basically we're creating rabbets because we're doing a double rabbet joint. And this is probably one of the easiest ways to do it.
So this right here is our prototype box. And why did we build a prototype box? Why did you want to do that?
Because I knew we were going to make a lot of fuck-ups. I wanted us both to see the mistakes and the improvements that we can make during the process. And it's a decent prototype. It's not bad. It's just not great.
Well, we learned a lot.
Yeah.
Here we are finishing it, putting that varnish on. We did figure out that we liked that varnish. The Emmett's Good Stuff. Look beautiful. Look at these corners. Look at the back, the golden colors that came out.
So why did you want to do a build with someone else?
I'm alone here. Right? Yeah, we've been locked up in our house, and I thought it'd be a fun project. It is fun to work with someone else. It's fun to teach someone else. You're teaching me some things as well, and I'm teaching you some things. You're teaching me how to shoot something.
So it looks like we're doing the front pieces for the 3 boxes right here.
It was really fun working with you, I enjoyed it. How much did you learn through this process?
I mean, everything I did was for the first time, pretty much. I had sanded things before, but I'd never used, look at me using a router here. I didn't even know what a router looked like.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
No, I'd never really seen one or, of course, operated one. But there's just a lot of beautiful technique. Like here, I remember you drew this pencil line. So that we could really get these even. And here you are checking it.
So we're hair proud.
And then here you're kind of trimming to make sure that it lines up perfectly. Take off just a tiny little bit.
Yeah, a little dado.
And that's for the center divider. Of course, you always have to come in and clean it up.
Yeah, that's what we want. Very tight.
So here you are kind of dry fitting the box. And I remember you noticed it was a little kind of high on top, so you took a little bit off. This is the dado where we have to cut into it, but not all the way through. So you made these initial cuts, and then the chisel work is amazing with the ply. It just kind of came right out.
Yeah, we did a couple different types of dado. We did a dado with the router. This is a dado with a table saw and chisel.
And then here's the whole set. That's one finished box. Well, unfinished, all the pieces. We are doing the pocket screws. I'd seen this type of feature on the back of a piece of furniture before, but I didn't know that it was a plug hiding a screw.
Oh, okay.
And these are biscuits, which I didn't know about either. And I guess that's kind of like my understanding is to hold the piece together like when you're gluing it and just kind of make it more solid, right?
Exactly. It's really used to line things up.
And here you were out of alignment. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And then you
kind
of
so we need to. I
re-drilled it and kind of fixed it and.
Exactly. I need to re-drill it. You see how it lines up well now. But with a biscuit, if you do screw up, you could re-drill it.
We're putting all the screws in, kind of doing the glue up here. This is when we were starting to put together not the prototype, but the real boxes. It was a nice tight fit on everything because we had built that prototype. I remember we started to do all three boxes at the same time. So some of these clips are from different boxes, but we were kind of at different stages in the assembly. You're using some sawdust here, which I'd never heard or seen this before, to fill in the gap when the glue is there. That's very cool. Here's the Craig screw, the plugs, and I'm sanding them down. And this was so satisfying to do and then have it be all smooth. Here we are making some plugs. And I didn't know you could make these.
Well, we couldn't get birch for some reason. I don't know why I couldn't find any birch.
Yeah, they were out.
Yeah.
So the plugs are a little bit of a different color, but I kind of like the style. Look at how nice those look.
Yeah, much different than the first piece that we did.
So I'm sanding and you are assembling.
Yeah, that's right. We have 3 of these pieces to do here.
Putting a little wood putty, kind of giving it a sand. And then why do we hand sand some of these angles instead of use the electric?
It's really easy to screw it up and to go over sand with an electric sander, so you really should use a hand sander. If you can. You just have a lot more control over it. I know it takes longer, but a product in the end is going to come out nicer.
We learned that on the prototype. I think we kind of wasn't as smooth on the prototype.
It was gouged. It gouged a little bit.
Look at that. Really nice, nicer than the prototype.
Yeah, definitely nicer than the prototype.
So there's the prototype, and there's our new box, and you can see the stain and the unstained. And we're moving on to the legs. And here's our red zebra. Look at that.
You know, red zebra is a really hard wood. Didn't know it was that hard.
I was amazed how you can sand it forever, and you're really not taking a lot off. It's very dense.
Extremely dense wood.
did a double piece for the leg to make it thick, and then so we could do those cutaways.
You know, you have to start with the drawing, always. It starts on paper, but it's art. It kind of evolves over time, as this one did.
Yeah, to your point there, we really didn't know what we were going to do with these legs exactly. We kind of had a basic drawing, but they really evolved.
Yeah. To figure out these shapes, basically we wanted to go past the base, right? In order to give it a better structure.
And this tapering that you're doing is something that I did not have in the drawing. And I'm really glad we did it. It has a beautiful kind of dynamic look to it because of that taper.
A little different, yeah. Nice.
Skinnier at the bottom and wider at the top.
So basically what we're doing is making one template so that we can use that one template for all 4 of the legs. And then we're just going back over it and routing it. We decided to round one side over too.
They look beautiful, look at that. There they are.
You can't dig into the bottom one too much if you tip it. You gotta stay flat. Try to go for like a quarter inch. Quarter inch is good.
Okay. So you had me here just taking off a little bit at a time.
Mainly because the router would kick. This wood is extremely hard wood.
I thought it was a little boxy. Right. This way? Like this? Or like this? You don't like that? I don't like that. You like that? Alright, let's do that. Okay, we're good. We took it down an inch from the top.
Yeah.
We did some rounding and then the cross braces too.
Yeah.
Gives it a huge difference.
So here we are kind of marking the pieces we're going to cut away on that inner layer of the leg. Basically made ourselves a giant puzzle here.
So we're gonna have to take a little bit off this because it's hanging over it.
Remember what that piece is called?
The nightmare piece?
Nightmare piece. We cut that piece how many times?
I think 5.
We are doing some dominoes.
See now here, it's certainly strengthening it up with these dominoes. You need these dominoes and these cross braces here. There's a couple different ways we could do it, but dominoes are really strong. I believe it's beechwood that we're using. Once this is clamped overnight, very, very strong.
Filling it in with some sawdust from that same wood. Look at that.
Like a glove.
So impressed with how that fit. And then lots of sanding. Hand sanding, electric sanding, use the block.
Look how flush that is. The flush here.
And why is it so flush?
Because we took a shit ton of time doing it, buddy. Days.
Why do we mark these?
So that we can line them back up after we cut them. We're tight right here?
Yeah.
Remember we did like a whole day of just fitting these pieces in, sanding them and making sure they were flush.
Mm-hmm.
And we chopped that top, made an angle on the top of the leg, and did our dry fit over here.
No problem with balance.
This is how you leveled it to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Nice little trick.
Yep, look at that.
What do you think? It's perfect bunk beds.
Here you are planing it down to be flush with the boxes. And you're checking it with that piece of the box.
Yeah, I didn't realize the wood was thicker than the Baltic, so we had to plane it down.
Look at that, 2 finished legs looking great.
And it matched up pretty well.
Here's one of the many dry fits we did, kind of piecing it together, measuring all the gaps, and once we were confident, we did the glue up on the legs. And you're using some pin nails there.
I'm throwing a micro pin in here just to hold them in place while we clamp them up.
This is that final glue up, which is quite exciting, but also a little nerve-wracking.
I noticed you were freaking out a little bit.
A little bit. And here it is. This is a couple days later, completely dry, and we're just doing the final finishing, sanding, getting some glue out of the crevices, and getting rid of all the dust. And then you're wiping it down with a wet rag. And there's the varnish. Look at that tone of the wood. It's so much deeper. Brought out like a yellow tone in the boxes. And here's our finished product. Beautiful color.
It's like a little piece of you goes into the piece forever.
I mean, honestly, you probably have that thing forever the way we're building it, you know. If you take care of it, you'll have it forever. And you'll also have the, I don't know, the memories, I guess.
For sure.
Right?
I wanted to have a storage unit that kind of matched the way I feel about the music itself, something that's beautiful and deserves to be put up on a pedestal. I'll look at this thing and it'll mean something to me. Like, I'll remember the time I spent building it. I'll see details on it and remember shaping those details. I'll remember things I learned. It's personal on every level, not only the music that it's holding and what that means to you, but the piece itself and the time that you spent building it with a friend. Really growing as a person, learning, how to do something out of your comfort zone.
There you go.
Cool, looks good.
Does that feel like 10 days worth of footage over there?
No. No. That's crazy.